Of course, after James Harden dominates without the MVP and beats Boston on the road, the next thing that happens is the MVP returns. Jason Tatum does nothing in a game, and the Celtics win 121-287, dragging the Sixers in a way that usually a better team at home down 0-1 often does in that sport. Mike Ryan was mocking how it is that the rookie Joe Mazzulla was getting out-coached by the playoff savvy of Doc Rivers, who's usually the guy who gets out-coached, who we mock for being out-coached.
Not true. Not true, Dan.
And Joe Mazzulla, at the end of his press conference yesterday, in what I think is the most acerbic cut that he's ever delivered to the media as a young coach, he walked off. This was him walking off at the end. It was the equivalent of a mic drop if he'd been holding the microphone, because this is how Mazzulla left after winning by 30-plus.
I thought it's it. We got stops, and then we were able to get out and run, and we got great looks, and we made the right play every single time.
Thank you, Joe.
Nobody wants to ask about all the adjustments we made from game 1 to game 2.
I like the sound of the getting up from the chair. Let's play that again.
The springs.
Yes, just so that people can hear, in the event that they're just doing this by audio and not video, so that they can hear Mazzulla springing from a creaky chair. Somebody's going to have to get some WD-40 or something, as he is really taunting the media.
I thought it's it. We got stops, and then we were able to get out and run, and we got great looks, and we made the right play every single time.
Thank you, Joe.
Nobody wants to ask about all the adjustments we made from game 1 to game 2.
It sounds like the chair that Vice Principal Strickland sat in Back to the Future 2 when Marty tried to steal the magazine from off his desk. When he leaned back, he poured a little liquor into his cup. That's the sound the chair made. Oh.
How does Tony know that reference, but not
I
any
love
of
Back
the
to
other
the
people
Future.
we've ever mentioned?
Back to the Future is a
Slacker.
classic.
But that's the
There you
second
go.
one. I don't remember anything about Back to the Future 2. I remember.
Really?
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Do you
Biff's
remember
future?
anything about Back to the Future 2?
Flea?
The dystopian future.
We're
of
living
Biff?
in Biff's future right here, right? Like that was the Donald Trump presidency, was a world where Biff is rich and corrupt, and where this has happened to me, Doc Amin committed. Oh man!
All because of the
And he's
almanac.
married to your mother.
Also, the book on Joe Mazzulla isn't necessarily game-to-game adjustments. It's in-game adjustments. And he flatly failed in Game 1 to adjust to the drop, pick, and roll thing that James Harden was fully taking advantage of.
They were due.
I mean, just credit to them for not doing that as much, but that's a little cocky there.
Idiocracy, also a movie that holds up well about telling us what the future would end up looking like in a way that is disturbing. But I mean,
Still waiting on that Fuddruckers evolution.
getting back to what it is that we were talking about in that series, do you have something that you can explain to me that would make sense on how that happened so often in basketball, where the graphic or Chiron on ESPN can so often be better off without Embiid because you get a different James Harden when he's allowed to control the entirety of the usage rate?
Yeah, this is the dumb stuff that we go through. 99% of the time, it's just literally reaction to the result.
No, but I'm
we
not.
Lost,
but
Embiid
what
played.
I'm asking you is, why did James Harden look so much better without Embiid than he ever looks with Embiid?
Because he gets to be James Harden. It would be like asking, why does Chris Bosh look so great in Toronto and then in Miami he looked not quite as great? It's not because he's not quite as great. By the way, we talked about this on Basketball Illuminati last week, where James Harden had the sound bit where he's like, you guys, so I played my way in Houston. You guys told me I would never win that way. I come here, I change my game to do what's best for the team, and then everyone says, oh, he can't do it anymore. Well, which one is it, right? Bosh went through the same thing a decade ago, where he's in Toronto, he's the focal point, and the team is a middling, first-round team. He leaves, he comes to Miami. They ask him, hey, we need you to focus on defense and picking and popping and stuff like that, and he does it, and the first thing, rather than everyone says, wow, the sacrifice, wow, he's really done what it takes, what we ask everyone to do to put winning above everything else, instead we're like, This bum, I told you he wasn't that good. He's not even doing anything. He had 15 points. This is your Hall of
Well,
Famer?
you say 15 points, but what I remember about Chris Bosh, All-Star Hall of Famer, is how it must have felt going home after Game 7. 0 points. 0 points in a Game 7 when you're Chris Bosh. They won.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Felt great.
Oh, are you sure though?
Yeah.
Are you
Absolutely.
You're 100% sure.
Game 7 in NBA Finals, you had 0 points, but you came up winning. He felt great.
I don't know about that one.
He felt great. Guys, we're not talking about like Game 7 of the second round.
You think he felt as great?
We asked him. He felt great.
Do you think he felt as great as the other people who didn't have 0 points?
Did he feel as great as Mario Chalmers? Is that what you're asking?
Just did he feel as great?
He claimed to have felt great.
Nobody feels as great as Mario Chalmers, Dan.
I believe after that victory, there was the shot of him pouring champagne all over his face where he looked like he felt great.
Yeah. That wasn't a reluctant sip of bubbly.
That was a, boy, I feel great sip of champagne.
No goggles, by the way. Just went straight to the face.
Yep.
That box score is forever. That Game 7 box score has a 0 next to Chris Bosh's
So is that
points.
ring, though.
And so is the picture of the champagne.
The pictures and the ring are way more memorable than that. But here's the funny part, Dan. If you ask the standard basketball fan, what do you remember of Heat Spurs 2013? They're not going to say Game 7. They're going to say Chris Bosh rebound to Ray Allen three-pointer. And then the block. He had the block, too,
He
right?
had the block too in the corner.
Dude, that's what people remember. So, yeah, I don't think he gives a shit about those 0 points.
But like 30 years from now, when we go to basketball reference, like, hey, what was going on that Game 7? We look back and we're like, ooh,
Oh,
Chris
this
Bosh,
bum.
0 points. Did he play? What
This
was
guy's
that?
a Hall of Famer? You kidding me?